What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 here with a different kind of video. So this is covering the Forma units that you could get out of Hall of Forms that we have going right now, featuring Awakening units. And in this video I'm just going to be going over how you could build these Forma units if you're thinking about purchasing them. And this is the first time I'm making this kind of video, so if you do enjoy it, then let me know. And if more people like it, then I'll probably continue the series. Otherwise, this might just be a one-time thing. So as always, the general rules of Forma units are going to be shown here. So Forma units will always have neutral IVs, but you could change them with Trade Fruit. And you want to make sure that you get really rare weapons and really rare skills on these units. You don't want to get stuff that you could easily get out of 3-star, 4-star pool and from the Grail pool. So you want to make sure that you get some ultra rare things which are locked to 5-star units. And you also need to make sure that you cannot merge Forma units into other units. You can, however, merge other units into Forma units. So the rules are shown here, and if you have any kind of confusion, then just pause the video and read them. And whenever there's a Grail unit present as a Forma unit, then you of course reduce the cost of plus and merging them. So you do save some heroic Grails in the process. Walhart here is an example of that. But let us begin with the star of this Hall of Forms, essentially the best unit out of this Hall of Form, which is Brave Lucina, who's known for her support. And Brave Lucina is one of those units that even as a one-off copy, she's really good because her main job is of a support unit, so merges don't really matter too much on her unless it's soaking chills or stuff like that. So if you are going to be getting Lucina, then I would suggest you to not merge her with your existing Brave Lucina if you already have her. Instead, you could bless one of them with Light Blessing and the other one with Astra Blessing for using her in Ether Raids if you're interested in that. So do not +1 merge your Brave Lucina, it's not really all that good. Just keep two of them separate and use them in different seasons. So as for the weapon for Brave Lucina, she does have Gear Skull, so you don't want to go for that. And you could actually go with its Curtains, which is really good with any kind of Gale Force build, and it's a really rare weapon, so you could definitely go with that. If you don't get it, then I guess you could just go with any kind of rare lance or even her preferred weapon. Doesn't really matter as she's going to be using Gear Skull most of the time. And for her assist skill, you want to use a Rally plus skill because you could use this with a Ruse skill if you do opt for that. And even outside of that, going for the dual Rally skill is going to be optimal. A lot of times she's going to be used with Brave Ike, so speed and resistance are two stats which he really needs. So Rally Speed Res is really good. And you want to go with Life and Death 4 or Fury 4 for her slot A. This allows her to soak chills from Chill Attack, Chill Speed, and Bright Shrines, so this is going to be really good. In slot B, you want to have a support skill. Even Pulse Star is really good against Infantry Pulse teams, and Ruse skills are also going to be really good if you're going to be using a Pulse Smoke Ike, because with the guard status, it's really hard for the enemy to trigger their special unless they get danced and get rid of it. And debuffs are also really good. And in slot C, you mainly want to go with a Joint Drive skill. Any of them can work out. But in my opinion, I think Joint Drive Speed is really good and probably something I would prefer myself. So these are the skills which I would recommend if you're going for Forma Brave Lucina. And the next unit we have is Walhart. So he's a Grail unit and we have got a good amount of reruns of him, so it's not the hardest to plus and merge him. And if you haven't really invested too much into him with the expensive skills, and if you're already bought the Forma pack, then these are the options that you could go for him. First of all, for his weapon, he already has Wolfberg, so we'll try to get some rare axes. A lot of the axes like Dex Swabber and Huge Fan are already present in the Grail pool, so shouldn't be going for that in my opinion. You should go with Fire Sweep Axe, which is locked to Garrick, and Carrot Axe, which could be a bit cute as an aesthetic, and it does give the cell feeling, so it is pretty nice. So you could go with those weapons. And for assist, you want to go with Harsh Command or any kind of dual rally skill. And Ruptured Sky is of course going to be pretty good because with his weapon, it is not ideal to run Blue Flame with Wolfberg, that is. With his slot, you couldn't go wrong with the solo skill. Attack Defense Solo is really good, but if you want to speed stack on him, then you could follow the second build where you have Attack Speed Solo and Lull Attack Speed at the same time. For his slot C, Joint Drive skills aren't really all that ideal, seeing as how Wolfberg functions. So you have options of Panic Smoke or even the Threaten tier 4 skill, which are not really always that good, but you know, Walhart could definitely make use of that kind of premium skill, I guess. And the third build is basically if you want to use him as a Gale Force unit by running Quick and Pulse as a Sacred Seal. So by running Heavy Blade 4 and Quick and Pulse, you could have like a 4-turn Gale Force. so you could get Heavy Blade 4 for that. And Rouse Attack defense is also locked to only Edelgard, I believe, so that is also a pretty premium skill, so you could go with that for Walhart. And then we move on to Grima. Now Grima hasn't really aged all that well because he's an armor dragon, he has got dual weakness, and he also has poor 1 movement. So not the most ideal unit in this metagame unless you pair him up with Spring It Done and use their duo skill and make him immune to those weakness. So that could be done, I guess, if you're a big Grima fan. If you're thinking of getting Grima, then he already comes with Expiration, so Glittering Breath is the most premium breath, I guess, from Winter Fade that he could go for. And for his assist, the usual stuff, Harsh Command or a Dual Rally skill. And because he's a dragon, he cannot have access to Ruptured Sky, so you want to get Blue Flame as your premium special basically. He also cannot have access to Armored Stride, so Armor March is basically your skill for movement. For Slotty, has got a lot of options. Distant Defense 4 is definitely a pretty good one, and Special Fighter is also a really good fighter skill, which does give the guard status and also gives him the breath effect basically. And you could also go with Bracing Stance 3, which is basically the best defensive skill for Slotty for a lot of tanks because it gives you defense and resistance and also the guard status. Odd Follow Up is actually pretty decent, especially in something like Ether Raids where you go on turn 3 when the Bolt Tower goes off and you pick off something and just sit there, hit and sit basically, after some smite support. So that could be done. I have seen few Winter Cecilias do that. And Pulse Smoke is going to be good if you're going to be using him in Ether Raids, but again, you will need Spring It In for the most part there to make sure that he doesn't fall to armor or dragon affected weapons. Now, you could go with Bolt Fighter, but Bolt Fighter is such a common skill even though it's a 5-star locked skill. Every other armor unit has that. So if you do have that fodder already, then don't really go for Bolt Fighter. But in case you do not, then you could go for that. And Attack Defense Unity is actually pretty good because a lot of times he is going to be a target for Chill Attack or Chill Defense, so that skill could be useful. And Tier 4 Threaten skills are mainly better on armor units because of their low movement, so it could be done for his slot C. And you could also go with a non-fighter skill in slot B like Special Spiral, and this can basically allow you to retaliate back with Blue Flame once you have that charged up. And either Attack Respond or Mirror Stance can help you increase his resistance where he's a bit lacking. And a Joint Drive skill is usually really good for most units. And then the last unit we have from this batch is Exalt Chrom. So he's probably the weakest one right now because he's a Sword Cavalier and Blazing Durandal Eliwood completely smashes him in the competition. There's just no hope unless he gets a really good weapon refine. So his options are kind of limited honestly because of his playstyle. For Slotty, you definitely want to go with something that could activate his weapon like Attack Speed Push 4 or Fury 4. So those are really good options. And in general, if you want to speed stack on him, then the first build is something that you should go for with a loud speed defense and Joint Drive speed. And if you want to use Fury 4 to just make him overall better in alt stats, then you could do that as well with lull attack speed. And finally, if you don't really care about speed stacking, then the final build is for you with Attack Defense Push 4 and just focusing more on his attack with Joint Drive attack. So that is going to be it for this video. This was just a feeler type of short video for the people who have already bought the Forma souls and are looking forward to getting these units. So maybe this video helped you a bit, I hope. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I want to thank all of my YouTube members for their constant support. And if you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like and a comment, helps me tremendously. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as Walhart's Wolfberg when he's near his allies. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.